Hi guys, welcome to this speed build video in The Sims 4. My name is Irene and today it's time for the Water Pavilion. It's not really a pavilion, it's an extremely modern, luxurious, open plan mansion. And I know it's almost winter, Christmas is almost here. But I came across a picture on Pinterest, and I always gather inspiration for my builds on Pinterest. And I came across a picture there and I just couldn't resist using it for a build. And I could only think about it, so I wanted to use it now for a build. So let's just dive right into this. The picture that I found was of Xálima Island, and it's not already built yet, but it's a concept made by Martin Ferrero, and there basically are a couple of luxurious, very big, modern open plan mansions scattered across a tropical island, and it's gorgeous. It has a lot of pools, extremely luxurious interior, a lot of marble, plants, palm trees, views, and I just really wanted to use it for a build today. So yeah, that's what you can see. Of course, I'm building it on a Sulani, on this ocean lot. And yeah, Sulani, one of the most beautiful worlds in my opinion that came with The Sims 4. It's not my favorite world to build in. I love building here, but Windenburg is my favorite world to build in because there's so much variety. You have a big island there where you can build on, a city, some lots in the forest and a couple of other lots. But if you go for the look of the world, this world is my favorite world that came with The Sims 4, especially in the evening with the gorgeous sunsets that shed a pink, orange, yellow glow over the islands. And I really took that to my advantage when I was taking the screenshots for the thumbnail and for the screenshots, the house tour at the end of the video. And yeah, I just really thought it gave the build a little bit more. And as you can see, I did this build in a completely different way. I used a different method that I normally use for my builds. Normally, I always start off with kind of a room or a shape of a room on the ground, and I will add to that and I will raise it up, and I use the terrain tool. And I use the terrain tool a lot, and I place a lot of rocks in, and I do all kinds of fun stuff with that. But one of the downsides of this gorgeous 50 by 50 ocean lot is that you cannot use the terrain tool, and you cannot place pools in or on the ground actually. So I had to come up with a different solution, and I'm not starting out with rooms but with huge decks. This because I wanted to make this an open plan mansion. So I wanted to avoid too much walls, too much rooms. So I made a lot of decks, and later on I will place a lot of spandrels in, of course, some walls and some rooms, and a lot of pillars. And not only just the normal pillars, I use a lot of them, but the normal pillars, if you use them, they always click on the grid. You cannot really determine the perfect space, a perfect spot for them. So yeah, these pillars that you can see right here. But I used some other pillars too, debug items. I went through all the debug items to find the pillar that looked the most similar as the pillars that I used. And I found one in the debug items that came with the Stranger Fill pack. I sized it down once and I used it a lot throughout this entire build, because then I could really determine the place I wanted to place these pillars in and make them a little bit closer to each other. And I just liked the look of it a little bit better, and I could avoid using a lot of walls and a lot of rooms, but still made different spaces in this huge open plan living space here. I already did that a couple of minutes ago, but I had the most fun and the most struggles with the roof that I placed in this build. After that, I had the most fun with the bathroom that I placed in. It's my favorite bathroom in all of my builds, all the builds that I ever did. And but you can see that in a couple of minutes, of course. But the roof, I did a couple of minutes ago. It's a glass roof with a curve, or actually there are 2 glass roofs with curves. And I talked about it before, but I'm such a perfectionist and I think it took me more than an hour to find the perfect angle that I wanted for that roof. But I just really wanted to place it in and I couldn't remove it, and I just like the look of it with the sunsets behind it and with the purple and yellow glow at the evening with the glass roof. So I just was determined to put it in. But man, it took me so much time, struggles, but at the end it worked out well, fortunately. But yeah, it was such a big process, but I'm very happy with how it looked at the end. Just a little tip if you want to work with roofs, and it is actually something that I found out I think about a year ago, and I've been playing The Sims for so many years. But if you want to adjust the roofs in your builds, when you type in and you're into that whole adjustment thing, if you clicked on the roof and you type in Shift-C, there are even more options to adjust your roof, and you can create more different spaces with your roof. And it really helped me out. So yeah, just a small tip. Maybe you've noticed already, then you don't do anything with the tip, but I just wanted to tell it. We're on to the gardens now. Yeah, I'm sorry, there was a little bit rambling. But we're on to the gardens now, and I think these gardens were such an important part of this build. I wanted to make this all blend into nature, but still make it very modern. So yeah, I placed a lot of plants. They're all from Island Living. A lot of hanging plants, a lot of flowers, palm trees, of course, to really fill it up and make it look like, yeah, it was part of nature in some kind of way. Especially the hanging plants that I used, I really like them. They're a debug item and you can see them in a couple of seconds. Again, I used them just on the left over there, but you can see them a little bit later too. And yeah, they're a debug item. And of course the game comes with some normal hanging plants. They came with the Jungle Adventure Pack, and of course you can use them. But I like to use items from the same pack in one build. I think that, or I seem to notice in some way that if you use plants or items that came for just one pack, they blend the best together when it comes down to color scheme. I think if you use some items from some plants from Jungle Adventure, for example, and combine them with some plants from Island Living, there's just a very small difference in the color of green these plants have. So I really like using items from the same pack, to really blend all these plants together and make that color scheme really fit together. But talking about debug items that I use from the Island Living pack, my favorite debug item that I used in this entire build is one of the rocks that I used beneath the build, and you can see that in a couple of minutes. But of course, as I was saying, I couldn't use the terrain tool in this build. And yeah, I'm placing in rocks now. These aren't my favorite rocks. I used a couple of these rocks as well because, as I always do, I took a look at the world surrounding the lot, and I always like to blend the world that is surrounding the lot with the lot that I'm building on, and the rocks that I saw surrounding the lot were black and were the same rocks that I used here. But I found some other rocks and I will place them in later on. But I was talking about that I couldn't landscape, couldn't use the terrain tool here. I could landscape, of course, but I couldn't use the terrain tool here. And this whole build is now just floating over the ocean, and yeah, that doesn't make that much sense. So I wanted to place a lot of rocks underneath the entire build here. I just removed a huge chunk of the deck there because I wanted to place some rocks in, and I wanted to have a little bit more space. I not only just placed the rocks in here, but I placed some trees and some plants here and there to make it look a little bit more realistic. But the rocks that I'm using now or just in a couple of seconds after when I used these hanging plants that we're just talking about. They are a debug item and they came with the Jungle Adventure Pack, and I think they fit better with the bushes that I use because they are from the same pack, of course. But yeah, the stone that I will use later on, here it is. I love it. It has such an amazing texture, structure, and it looks so realistic, I think, with all the different colors. And there are rocks that you can see on the bottom of the ocean in the world surrounding the lot. So that's why I never really used it before in one of my builds, but I was trying out some different rocks here and there that I wanted to place underneath this build, and then I placed one of these rocks in and I just fell in love with the color of it, so I used it a lot. I think it's extremely fitting for an island living build or a Sulani build. I don't know how it fits with builds in other worlds, but for a build on an island, yeah. Oh, my favorite debug item that I never used before in this build. But we're on to the interior now. Our interior is kind of all exterior because it's so open plan. But yeah, the interior, the bedroom here. As you can see, I placed these huge stone slabs on the ground. They came with spade and they come in a lot of different colors, and they also came in this very light brown. And I wanted to raise up the floor a little bit in this room, and that isn't possible in the game. So that's why I used these stone slabs, and then I sized them up a couple of times, and I used another one in the middle of it, and then I placed the bed on top of it. And yeah, I really wanted to make that bed into a feature into this build, and I will use the same method later on as well. Of course, I will put this build up on the gallery so you can download it and put it in your game. But if you really want to play with this house, you have to remove these stone slabs because your sim cannot enter the bed right now. I still decided to keep this in because I like the look of it. Because it was a little bit of a feature here, a decorative feature, and I used that same method with some other items later on as well. They're really a decorative item in the build. I do that with some lounge chairs later on in the bathroom too. I used these stone tables again a lot in this build. They came with the Dine Out pack and I just started using them last week, and yeah, I love using them. I don't know why, but I think they make rooms a little bit more realistic and a little bit less empty. I placed some different types of lounge chairs here and there. Some of them I combined together to make it into bigger beds. And the other lounge chair is one from the base game. Over here is the living room where a television will be. You cannot see that I'm placing it in here though, because I forgot to place the television in. So at the very end of this build, I went through all the rooms to check everything. I checked that I placed the mailbox in because I always forget to place the mailbox in. I checked if I placed a refrigerator in, but I forgot to place a television in. And I think you don't really need a television with amazing views when you're living in a house like this. But still, in such a luxurious build, I thought it was fitting to place at least one television in. So you can see it in the screenshots and how I've saved this to the gallery. There will be a television in, but you cannot see it in this video. These trees that I used, and I'm pointing at my screen right now, it totally makes no sense, but the trees that I used, the lit trees, are from Dine Out, and I never used them before. I never really saw them before, but I was going through all the wall decoration items, and then I suddenly saw this item, and I really liked it, especially because it gave light. And but we're on to the bathroom right now, and this is actually my favorite bathroom, as I was saying, that I ever did, and this part is my favorite part, the shower part. The thing that I did, I placed some black fountains against the wall, and then I placed some stone black marble tiles on the floor and some other stones. They came with Island Living. I placed a short fence in, just 1 square wide, and a towel over that to use it as a towel stand. And I used the showers that came with the Discover University pack, and I placed them in the fountains, and in that way I made this shower. And this is one of the reasons why I was so extremely happy with the showers that came with the Discover University pack, because I knew I could finally make custom showers. And we had these showers that came with Island Living, but they were not simple enough to use in these custom showers that I just made. So yeah, this is certainly my favorite place in this entire build. Couldn't you imagine standing there taking a shower? Oh man. Of course, I placed some other things here too, in the bathroom, a bathtub later on. But the lounge chairs here I combined with each other. That was what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago when I was talking about the bed and the stone slabs that I use, and using furniture more as a decorative item than really as a functional item. I combined these lounge chairs together. Yeah, and as I was saying, to really make it into a decorative item. In my imagination, it made sense, because sometimes when I see pictures of extremely modern designed bathrooms, they're extremely expensive furniture sofas in these bathrooms, and they're so expensive and so designed that they're really not meant to sit on. And I had that in my mind while I was placing these lounge chairs in. And of course, there are so many functional places in this build: areas to lounge, couches to sit on, places to watch the views all around you. So that's why I thought it made sense to use some of these items as a decorative item instead of a functional item, of course. I placed some small pools in here and there, but not really a pool, more like, yet again, a decorative item. The thing that I really wanted in this build, and it wasn't possible to create, I really wanted a very shallow pool on one of the floors, but still had enough space at the floor underneath the higher floor, and not have an entire pool there that was filling up all the space. But unfortunately that isn't possible in the game. Between all the debug items we have now, there are some pre-made waterfalls, and if there ever is going to be not just a waterfall but just straight water on the floor, that would be amazing, because I could really use it for builds like this. There aren't any of these fountains right now, so I made a decision to make very small pools and to make these pools more into a wall, and still have the water at the upper level as a feature. So the bathroom that's over here has a water wall, and in my imagination you could put fish in there and make it into an aquarium. And we're on to the kitchen. The kitchen has actually 2 parts, a part to cook, and over here a part with a barbecue and a refrigerator at the other part, of course. I made a huge kitchen island here, and it's more a bit of a bar too, because you have these views there, of course. And I think we're almost at the end of this video already. So strange. My initial plan was to make this voiceover like for the half of the video, but I've been talking throughout the entire thing. I hope you don't mind. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please give it a like or a comment or something like that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I would really appreciate it. I try to do a lot of different things with my builds to keep you guys inspired for your own builds, or maybe you just really like to watch speed build videos. I think you're in the right place then as well. I hope you will have a great weekend if you're watching this on Friday, the day that I upload this. It's almost Christmas, it's almost New Year, so exciting. And I hope to talk to you soon. Goodbye.